when the one power, Georgia, didn't make the playoffs. Under questionable reasoning, by the way. But Jim Harbaugh won that national championship. We don't look at any of the context around it, and it rewrote the narrative on who Jim Harbaugh is. But you know what Jim Harbaugh's reputation was before all of this? Man, he don't really be able to seem to bring guys to that next level at the quarterback position. Like, he real great with getting something out of nothing. But boy, when it comes time to, like, when he got the Andrew Luck, when he got the Colin Kaepernick, boy, he struggles to do something with that. And then he brought on the ultimate, I put training wheels on the quarterback, don't put me on a good quarterback offensive coordinator, Greg Roman.
Greg Roman.
By the way, Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator that left Lamar Jackson and allowed Lamar is on track to win his third MVP. Everybody got excited about running this ball, but now we're realizing, hey, running the ball means you're not using your best player. And they got the all Senior Bowl squad out there. They got Brendan Rice and Ladd McConkey out there running routes for them. And I like Ladd McConkey. But like Ladd McConkey should be your number one wide receiver in the NFL right now. He wasn't even the number one wide receiver at Georgia. Like,
oh man.
Are we going to get back to talking about how unserious Jim Harbaugh can be at times? Like, are we just still letting this slide because he won a national championship last year?
All I'm to say is this. They play the Browns on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And if Jim Harbaugh loses to Jameis, we will absolutely be talking about how unserious that is. 100% going to be talking about how unserious Jim Harbaugh is as head coach if he loses to Jameis on Sunday.
We'll see. We'll see. Jim Harbaugh doesn't have a great record in the state of Ohio. I would like to remind people of that.
Except against Ryan Day.
Yeah, okay. Jim Harbaugh doesn't have a great record against teams in Ohio when he's playing coaches who have accomplished anything. Is that better?
Yeah, a lot better.
Okay. Did we filter out what we need to filter out?
Yeah.
Okay. Amongst coaches who are respected, he doesn't do well in Ohio. And that's including Urban Meyer is in there, dog. Like, that's great. Urban Meyer didn't know who Aaron Donald was. And we like, yeah, clearly more respectable than Ryan Day. But we going to get to Ryan Day in a minute. I saw somebody tweet. It was somebody notable, too. They were like, describe Ryan Day in one sentence. Hit a board on third base, can't get home. I'm like, damn.
Facts.
It's nasty.
Facts.
Damn. That remind me of the Guardians. Bengals.
Why you do that? Why you do that? You know, people.
Yeah, I left a lot of runners on the bases, dog. Like, that was crazy.
It's okay. It's okay.
I couldn't talk about somebody being left on third base, Cole. Y'all left people on all three of the bases multiple times in multiple series.
It's okay. The Yankees are 0-3.
I can be like, hey, I can say this right now, and you have to ask a qualifier to figure out what I'm talking about. Hey, Cole, remember that time y'all left bases loaded? Y'all left runners on all three bases? Which game am I talking about, Cole?
Oh, man.
Can't even tell me.
Oh, man.
Well, let's talk about the Bengals, man. Do they just suck? Like, are they just not that good?
Yeah, the Bengals suck.
Are they just – I don't think they suck. Are they just mid this year?
Let me be more specific. The Bengals defense sucks. They're terrible. Like, irredeemably bad. And they got a lot of first round picks on their defense too. They are not good at all whatsoever. The offense isn't bad. I think the offense is actually pretty good, but they can't make up for how bad that defense is. Dog.
Hold on now, Cole. Hold on, because like people been rolling with the offense is good for Cincinnati. I would like to remind folks the last 3 weeks, Cincinnati has scored 17 points on offense, 14 points on offense, and 17 points on offense.
Oh, now they're falling off a cliff too. Yeah, they're done. They're done.
Because that offense wasn't lighting up the Browns last week.
No, I'm going to be real with you. If Jameis played against the Bengals, the Browns would have won that game.
Honestly, if the Browns just played any semblance of special teams, they would have even won with Deshaun, DTR, and Jameis all playing in that game. The Browns owe that loss completely to themselves.
With most of their losses, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's been how the season has gone. But yeah, man. So like even this offense, like I remember when people were talking about Joe Burrow if his record were different, which is a hilarious qualifier. If his record were different, people would talk about him as MVP.
His record's not different. His record's not different.
You ever think we'll do that with Lamar Jackson, by the way? You ever think that conversation will be mainstream? If Lamar Jackson's record was different, he would be the MVP. You think that would ever be allowed to fly?
No.
Nope.
He's flying with Joe Burrow. That's kind of crazy to me. But yeah, Joe Burrow in these last 3 games, let's look it up right now. I mean, he hasn't been bad. He just hasn't been like amazing. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, a good amount of yards, but nothing over 300. They might just be mid.
Yeah, I was watching that game against the Eagles around the second half, like late in the, I think it was 3rd or 4th. They just let the Eagles offense do whatever they want. I'm like, hey, man, this is like a disturbing trend. And a lot of Bengals fans are like saying that they need to fire Zack Taylor. I'm like, well, yeah, he's not as good as you think. And it's not just that the team has been underachieving. It's just that I think when it comes to development on the defense side of the ball, it just hasn't happened. I mean, they took Miles Murphy in the first, second round. He hasn't panned out. Their cornerback room hasn't been necessarily the best. I feel like all of their problems, it's more focused on the defense combined with the fact that the coach hasn't been coaching as well as everyone thought he should. And the team is just not that good this year. And I've been trying to tell people that their defense is going to take a step back. But I didn't think they were going to be this bad.
Yeah. 37 points to a Philadelphia team, which, by the way, the Browns really should have beat. I just don't think Cincinnati's good. I don't think the adjustments they made on the offensive line have worked out.
You know how I know the Bengals are bad? You know how I know they're bad? Because I got some sissy fans I follow on Twitter and they follow me back. They've even told me, it's like, hey, man, I'm not going to lie to you. If Jameis would have started the entire year, the Browns would be better than the Bengals, right? The Browns would be so much better than the Bengals right now. Absolutely. I'm like, oh, I was like, oh, that's how you know they bad.
They've only gotten over 50 rushing yards 3 times from an individual running back.
Their running game is bad. It's really bad.
They miss Joe Mixon?
They miss not using Joe Mixon, yeah. It's kind of Zack Taylor, though. Like, this is the thing. Joe Mixon was here in Cincinnati. They had the same problems last year. Joe Mixon goes to Houston. He's playing fine. This is on Zack Taylor. It's always been a problem with Zack Taylor. And then he chooses the weirdest times to, like, start leaning in his run game. Like, he does this shit all the time. Joe Burrow was masking the fact that man's not a good coach for a while. Now that defense is falling apart, the offense is not consistent. It's never been consistent under Zack Taylor. And now it's being exposed. I've always said, look, if Cincinnati's defense does not play well, they are not the team that gets the back-to-back conference championship games. As much as people made that shit about just exclusively the power of Joe Burrow, like, it was about how good that defense was playing. Just look at the playoff run the first time they got to the conference championship game. It was like exclusively defensive moments for like 3 weeks of that playoff game.
It was literally defensive moments and game-winning field goals.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That's what's carried Cincinnati. The offense has always been inconsistent, and I think that the offense could be a lot better. The offense could be more consistent, but the problem with the offense right now is that it's just Joe Burrow. It's just Joe Burrow there throwing to Jamar Chase, and that's it. Am I streaming on both channels?
That's the thing we got to fix, but I'll fix it later. Don't worry about that.
All right. Well, they I guess main channel get a free one today.
Yeah, for now.
We streaming on both channels?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Hey, man. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
All right. I think that's because of how I entered the stream. I don't think that's your fault, Curtis.
Yeah, but for the Bengals, it's just I look at that team and I'm like, there are a bunch of guys on that team that will not be there next year, and there will be a new head coach there because if I were the Bengals at this point, I would consider firing Zack Taylor. It's something that should have been discussed back in 2022. And it's not really a hot take or controversial. It's just the team has peaked and they're not getting any better. It feels like after they went to the Super Bowl that one year, it's just they kind of stayed in that little stagnant area and they didn't really improve. And not to mention the fact when you talk about the fall for their defense, they never replaced the guys that they lost. They figured that maybe if we get, Jordan Battle to replace Jesse Bates, or Dax Hill, similar to that, we'll be fine. But that didn't work out at all. And they never replaced DJ Reader in the interior. Like, their run defense is awful. It's bad. I haven't seen a run defense get this worse in a while. So, that whole team might be different come next year. Joe Burrow might get a decent head coach. T. Higgins won't be back, though.
Time to blow it up.
Nope.
Is it time?
Nope. There's no bombs.
There's no bombs?
There's
no.
Oh, hold on. Wait, let me see. Is it now? Are we getting bombs now?
No,
wow. The bombs have failed me.
About time.
Is it time?
I told you to leave the soundboard alone, bro. I told you to leave that soundboard alone, bro. Leave that soundboard alone, dog.
Oh, you know why it's not working? I'm not on the right one. There we go. Damn.
There it is.
There it is. Boom, 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 boom. Time to blow it up. All right. Cowboys in Miami. I just want to talk about the fact that we talked about this before the year. Hey, man, how useful are super expensive wide receivers? Now, some people may throw the Minnesota Vikings success in my face. I will counter back with a Cowboys in Miami. $90 million worth of wide receiver play. All you've gotten is disappointment.
Speaking of coaches who might get fired, Mike McCarthy, squarely on the hot seat.
Oh, he's done.
Hey, man, is Mike McDaniel on the hot seat?
No.
So I follow someone who's like a Dolphins fan. He said that he should be considering how they looked when Tua went out because their offense looked basically awful. But considering how they played last Sunday, that was a winnable game and they lost. So I don't know, maybe, but
the whole premise of him is that he's supposed to be this genius that can prop up different quarterbacks because he propped up Tua, and then Tua goes out, and now it looks like he really needs Tua.
Yeah, man, I think he's going to be safe just because of all the stuff surrounding Tua being injured in the quarterback position. I don't think they're going to fire him. Big Mike, though?
Yeah, Mike, it's time.
Yeah.
He should have been fired He should have been fired last year.
Mike, yeah, it's time. It's time. He on that bone this year. Tampa Bay has had an interesting turn of event the last 2 weeks. Anybody want to talk about it?
Not gonna do it.
They came
not
back
gonna
down
do
to
it.
earth.
Not
They
gonna
came
do
back
it,
down
man.
there for a little bit.
Did they come back down to earth or?
No. Oh man. Oh man.
I feel like these are fair questions to ask.
Look, man, I don't want to say it. Y'all know how that's gonna go. I don't want to say it. Let's say it.
I'm just gonna point this one out here. In the month of October, somebody has thrown 7 interceptions.
We need to meet the ground.
We gonna act like that's not happening.
We need to meet the ground.
I'm not saying we're gonna act like that's not happening.
We gonna act like that's not happening. My man threw 2 the whole first month of the season. They was making sketches about how much we miss him. And they were right. We missed anybody playing quarterback other than Deshaun Watson at that point of the year. But ever since that sketch, man, 7 interceptions. Don't that feel familiar? Anybody get deja vu?
Have they lost games in a row? I feel like they
lost
2 in a row. They lost to Baltimore. They got smacked by. They lost to the Atlanta Falcons. I'm just saying, it is worth paying attention to.
And they played.
Hey man, overall his numbers still look pretty good. 21 touchdowns, 9 interceptions through 8 games is pretty impressive for Baker.
That's still good.
You can't take that away from him. Yeah. Them interceptions is coming back with the vengeance. Okay, like them interceptions got something to say about this because 7 in a month is crazy. Like,
listen. To be fair, you know he's down his 2 best receivers.
so
But
that
man.
explains 2 of those interceptions. Like, what about the other 5? He threw 3 versus New Orleans. Like, he had all of them.
Ooh. I forgot about that. Yeah, man. Yeah. He looked like the same guy we know.
We've always said this about Baker Mayfield. It's not that he's not capable of playing good. It's just there's a variance there with Baker. It's always been the case, right? And that variance makes it hard for you to have serious aspirations. Now, if your aspiration is just like, hey, let's be a fun team, make the playoffs, Baker Mayfield's good for you. It's like Jay Cutler. He's the new Jay Cutler. Tell me this is not new Jay Cutler vibes.
Basically.
You get him somebody, you get him a big wide receiver like a Brandon Marshall, that shit's going to be kind of fun. But, like, it's not serious. This is what we have said about Baker for so long. And every time he plays well, the media just takes the bait on it every time because they're like, oh, it's a time to just wedge in that knife for the Cleveland fans. But I'm like, dude, we said it when we got rid of him. He's Jay Cutler.
It is what it is at this point. It's just funny, like when you start seeing those tweets, like, "Oh, the Browns miss Baker. How you guys are so stupid for letting him go?" And then, like in 3 weeks, you never see those tweets again. It's just
it's always an interesting cycle with Baker Mayfield because he is capable of playing really good football. We've never said that wasn't the case with Baker. It's just trying to win 4 games in a row against the best competition on earth. Well, that's where you're gonna run into some problems, right? Like that's always been the case. Now Deshaun Watson was brought in to solve that problem. Clearly, epic fail there for the Cleveland Browns. Like just a dramatic no on that one. He did not solve any of those problems. Honestly, he made it worse. Now we're like sitting on Jameis. Who Jameis got the same problem Baker got, right? Like. There's no way I trust Jameis Winston to win 4 games in a row versus the best competition on earth. It's not a shot in the world. I don't trust Jameis Winston past the pass. He's still capable of playing some good football. Like, it's funny to me that they swap teams, but Baker Mayfield and Jameis Winston are essentially very similar. Like, in terms of how they feel as players. Because you could put Jameis in the system right now and he would look good for a couple of years. He'll throw a lot of interceptions, but like you're not gonna have the worst quarterback play in the NFL. He's certainly one of the best 32. It's just Jameis going to make a critical mistake here, and can't have that. can't have that.
Oh man.
Like every time you watch one of those, like Baker, whether it's Baker or Jameson, this is what I find hilarious about all these conversations. You have the same general thought when they drop back and pass, which is, hey, don't fuck this up. Which is like with Deshaun, you pray that he sees it and throws it, right? That's a different struggle and a much worse struggle. With Jameis and Baker, you get nervous when they get like 7 completions in a row because you're like, oh, they're gonna try some crazy shit.
Mm-hmm. So like, oh, here comes the shot of double covers because he feels like
somebody said Brett Favre, and I'm like, no, they are not Brett Favre because Brett Favre was capable of being accurate more consistently. The issue with these two, it's like every person that's tried to be Steph Curry that's not Steph Curry that's entered the league, and you're like, yeah, it's fun with Trae Young making them threes. But when does Trae Young get exhausting? Like on defense? When he not making that shit, right? Because he not Steph. It's like, yeah, you're trying to emulate being Brett Favre, but you're not Brett Favre. You're just going to have very, very hard time replicating those results. But that's just the life of the quarterback that's like that. I'm happy that Baker got his money. I'm happy that Baker's getting the opportunity. And look, Baker's going to have a stretch of games here where he's going to look pretty good again. He's going to have, a similar stretch to the start of the season at some point this year. But also, Baker going to throw some interceptions. I don't know why that's so hard to accept.
Hey,
we'll move in. I know.
Okay, but so
We're
Every
gonna
week.
hit into another subject. So we got Ohio State and the Cavs. Let's talk about Ohio State, Cole, because you can lead that conversation for a little bit. They play Penn State and Indiana. What team are you more afraid of?
Honestly, I feel like Penn State is also pretty unserious. Penn State's a pretty unserious football team, like college football program, just in general. Like I feel like they're pretty good most of the time. Like they'll have a winning record. They'll be in it until they play Ohio State, until they play Michigan, until they play teams that are actually like serious in the Big Ten. So I'm not really worried about that. I'm not gonna lie. Chat, you can disagree with me if you want. I'm a little bit worried about Indiana. That's the team that's kind of like, okay. I feel like they're a lot better than people think. They're a lot better than people think, and I think if Curtis Rourke is playing in that game, that's gonna be a rough one for OSU. It's gonna be the roughest game, and I don't think Ryan Day could survive losing to Oregon and losing to Indiana in the same season.
I thought not Oregon. I thought Ohio State's defense played well last week. They were a lot more aggressive, but the offensive line is just a mess, a total mess.
Indiana's really good though, Curtis. Like Indiana's genuinely they're a really good football team, man.
Well, the thing with Indiana is that they're an old team and they're a well-coached team, right? And Curtis Rourke is a really disciplined player. And Ohio State is not a super disciplined team, as we saw with how they lost to Oregon, nor do I believe them to be a well-coached team, which is why I would have serious concerns in that game. Now, is that in Indiana? Well, it doesn't matter because Ohio State fans going to pack it. But that's going to be, I think, the interesting one to watch. Something tells me that, like, I wouldn't just give Ohio State the W over Michigan because, like, this does not feel like an Ohio State team that's above that.
Yeah. I got to see it. I'll say this. They should beat Michigan. Honestly, they should beat all three of these teams. They should.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean I think they're going to.
Now, another thing I want to talk about. Cavs undefeated. And not only are they undefeated, looks like Evan took that leap, y'all.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Evan Mobley, leap year. I saw him in there getting in Cat's grill. Now, Cat got him one time, but they called that foul. You know, so it don't count. It don't count.
No, it was a Cat. It was the other big man.
Oh, it was homeboy, the rookie.
Yeah, he dunked on him.
Yeah.
He got him. But he did the
ward
off.
He did the Blake Griffin.
He did the ward off, so they call offensive foul. I was like, "Ooh, we got lucky." I was supposed to be highlighting.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was gonna be tough. That was gonna be a tough one to explain for Evan Mobley. But really, we do have to talk about the fact that Evan Mobley seems to be like a solid 17, 18 a night, even when he's not being super aggressive, and also absolute menace defensively. He is better than he's ever been defensively.
I think that's the biggest thing. Not even gonna lie, I think that's the biggest thing when you watch Evan. He's always been one of the 10 best defensive players in the league, but he has been like legitimately do not drive on him.
Yeah.
Like do not test it. Don't drive on him, don't test him. Good.
It seems like he has finally gotten confident in his physical, like his ability to be strong, right? Because there were times where he would get into these physical situations and he would kind of shy away from them. Now he's not shying away. Like just small shit. Like how many times did he finish trying to dunk against the Knicks? Yeah. Like it's that. It's like, okay, he feels like he a grown-ass man out here and he's playing like a grown-ass man. And I was watching, I was like, yeah, this team might have legs. Because also what it allows when Evan Mobley's able to score consistently is it takes a lot of pressure off Darius Garland, who did not score a ton of points to start this season. But then all of a sudden he pops out against New York and throws up 30 on amazing efficiency mind you.
Incredible efficiency, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, oh, this team's a lot more dangerous than last year. Some of the kids have grown up, right? Like the Cavs are starting to show, like you're starting to see the young pieces really grow and mature. And I like what Kenny Atkinson is doing. I like they're able to maintain their defensive edge while doing it. I also like that, they were able to beat Cat. Ain't gonna lie. Beat New York and beat Cat. It's a double whammy.
Made you feel good? Made you feel good?
Oh, yeah. Especially on a week where not only did the New York Knicks lose, but also the New York Yankees went down 3-0 to a team that employs Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani. Yeah, I'm feeling great.
Said I'm feeling great.
I'm feeling great.
No, it's always great when the Yankees go down 0-3. That's a beautiful feeling.
Oh yeah.
It made me feel
especially.
good.
Especially.
You know, this the first year I really started watching the guards. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get behind the guards. Watch the New York go down 0-3. I'm like, yeah, that feels good.
That's good. I'm with
that
it.
feels good.
I'm with it. I'm debating now. Should they do they still do the 1, the 2, and then the 3 games at home for the visiting team?
I think so.
All right, so they just gonna have to celebrate this one in New York. I was like, maybe they could bring that one back home to LA. But I guess they just gonna have to celebrate that one at New York.
Not a bad place to celebrate. Not a bad place to celebrate at all.
Hey, shout out to Mookie. Shout out to Shohei. We in there, man.
No, but to get back on the Cavs, like seriously though, I think it's everybody's hyper focused on Evan because he's the one who has to take the quote unquote leap there. I think when you watch him offensively, the biggest issue I have with him still is he still has like stretches of the game where he's not being aggressive offensively. And he's kind of, I don't know if I want to call it, I don't know if I want to say he's being super passive. It feels like he's trying to figure out how to get his shots in the flow of what they're trying to do.
Do you think though, because like I remember the same criticisms being the case with LeBron, and it's like some of these guys who just play well with, like, he's a really good facilitator. He's really good getting the ball to people within the rhythm of the offense. Do you think that's just a natural consequence of him being able to do those things that you like him doing? It's like, okay, he's not always going to be looking to stop the ball.
I don't even think it's about stopping the ball. Sometimes I think it's just like, hey man, you have an advantage. You should take advantage of it. I don't think he's a black hole on offense or anything like that. Sometimes I think he needs to call his own. He just simply needs to call his own number a little bit more. Like there's stretches of the game where I'm watching Sam Merrill take shots. I'm watching George Niang take all these shots. I'm watching I'm watching Ty Jerome take all these shots.
You say George Niang like Stephen A.
I wouldn't even try to be like, I wouldn't even try to like take a dig at him when I said that. I promise.
No, what's the one dude that Stephen A. used to say?
Tiago Splitter.
Yeah,
Tiago Splitter.
It's Tiago Splitter.
Yeah. Like that. I'm not even trying to say it like
Niang.
But I'm watching all these dudes take all these shots. I'm like, hey man, you need to go get the ball and you need to go score, especially when they're going through droughts on offense. I'm like, hey man, this is the perfect opportunity for you to go get the ball and go make something happen. And I thought in the end of the third quarter, in the beginning of the fourth quarter in last night's game, he did that. Like he did that. He was like, okay, I'm gonna get my shots. I'm gonna help the team. I'm gonna get some baskets here so we can keep this score in a good place. And I just think he needs to play that way the entire game. Like he needs to do it the entire game. I think that's the next step for him in his maturity as a player and his like growth as
is that a
quote
year
unquote
5
start?
Is that a year 5 development though for him? Like on a team where he's not the best player offensively?
And I think that's what makes it tricky too. Is because when Darius has it going like that, you know what I'm saying? Darius needs the ball. You know. Also, Jared Allen.
Same thing with Donovan.
Yeah, same thing with Donovan. Also, Jared Allen is shooting 80% from the field through 4 games. He had 15 or 15 last night. So it's gonna be one of those weird things where like I think we have to be cognizant of the fact that I think Evan is getting better. His jump shot, obviously, like him shooting from three, he's clearly a better jump shot shooter and 3-point shooter than he's been prior. But I think the volume of his shots and the stats that he's gonna have, they're not always gonna match up just because of who he's sharing the floor with and who he plays with on the team. Like some games is gonna be Darius, a lot of games is gonna be Donovan, some games is gonna be Jerry Allen who's got it going. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be cognizant of that too.
Now, a lot of people were critical about the Cavs keeping that core four together throughout the offseason and not being aggressive and making a move on Garland. Do you think that there's a chance here that the Cavs are going to be vindicated on their patience with these young guys here?
Through 4 games, it looks possible. I want to see them play against better teams. You know what I'm saying? Like they played the Knicks. They're a good team. They won. The good 3 games prior were what? The Raptors. I forget who was. It was the Raptors. The Raptors, the Pistons, and the Wizards. Like no disrespect to those teams, but they're not very good. You know what I'm saying? They play the Lakers tomorrow. I'm going to be real interested to see how they look against LA. I think that's going to be a game that tells me a lot.
No,
it's here. It's in Cleveland. I'll be real excited to see that one.
It's going to be interesting to see where the Cavs go from here. Now we're going to end today's show on another clip of Jameis. And this is Jameis explaining why and what happened during this W clip.
It started a long time ago, and that's because my last name, the first 4 letters of my last name spells out wins.
Yep.
Go and fact check me. It's probably right on Wikipedia. Do y'all remember?
Wait.
If you want to fact check me.
If you want to fact check me.
It's all Wikipedia.
You want to fact check me on how my last name is spelled.
Remember the soup? The alphabet soup.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
I always a long time ago, and that's because my last name, the first 4 letters of my last name spells out wins.
Yep.
Go and fact check me. It's probably right on Wikipedia. Do y'all remember the soup? The alphabet soup.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
I always just talk about like, hey, we scraping the bowl today. We eating up everything, right? And we only looking for dubs in the alphabet soup. There's a lot of different options out there, but we looking for W's. We eating all the W's in the alphabet soup. Like so, I took the W out the soup. I already had the W ready and prepared.
Yeah.
I think it went left when I started actually eating the W.
Yes, I agree.
And when I ate the real W, and then proceeded to dap up Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
I think that was the worst person to dap up.
It is amazing to see somebody have that level of retrospection over what that is. Like,
nah, man, extend Jameis.
Now,
I'm there.
Where it went left.
Extend that, man. Please give him a contract extension.
He said, I'm scraping the bowl. And I'm like, it kind of makes sense. So I had to W out the bowl fresh and ready.
No, bro. Just picture this. Picture this real quick. Hypothetically, the Browns draft Shedeur Sanders and keep Jameis Winston.
I don't think we need that much personality.
Dog, there would be, Shedeur is gonna have commercials and stuff. You just know that's gonna happen wherever he gets drafted. He's gonna have a bunch of commercials and stuff like that. Jameis would absolutely be in one of them, and it would be the most hilarious thing.
By the way, would be the grounds of what will be the next largest mega church if Deion Sanders and Jameis Winston have a reason to network.
No, if it happens and they have a commercial, Kevin has to be in the commercial too, just looking just like, oh my god.
Jameis Winston, like there are a number of players that would be a hilarious like connection, like with Jameis Winston. I think what Cam Ward, Incarnate Words is a religious school, right?
Yeah, it sounds like it. Sounds like it to me.
I think so.
I feel like Cam Ward would be a good fit. The one I want to see is like, hey man, I don't want this, but I would want to see it on reality TV. Jameis Winston and Quinn Ewers. Like, no. That is a buddy cop film that I want to see.
No, it's not.
The Jameis Winston and Nick Chubb buddy cop. Look, we still got Hard Knocks, Cole.
Oh yeah, we do. It's in the.
They've been recording footage of this behind the scenes. What
I can't
are we
wait to
gonna
watch it.
get?
I can't wait to watch it because you're gonna see the weeks with Deshaun was starting and the weeks with Jameis was starting, and I cannot wait to see the difference.
And
I can't wait
knowing
to see the difference.
knowing how nasty the NFL like to do people, they're gonna have them weeks while Deshaun in there color graded to look more mute. Right, like, and then Jameis gonna come in. It's gonna be like the Wizard of Oz. It's gonna be saturation in color.
Like they're gonna hyper focus on like how everybody else feels after the quarterback change. Don't let them get on a win streak with Jameis. Don't let them get on a win streak.
Think about it like this: we just saw at the beginning of this video them talk about Jameis saying this is one of them games where you just gotta pull it out and let them know who's bigger. Hey dog, if that happens, this shit gonna be on camera. Like,
oh man, this is gonna be so funny. This
dude,
is gonna be so great.
Jameis Winston, when he's just being Jameis on these pregame huddle things, these like hype circles, he's already a crazy man. Cole, can you imagine what he gonna turn this up to once he realized the world is watching?
Oh man. Oh god.
By the way, did we all I knew the second I saw that pregame interview of Jameis Winston that we was about to get a special game from him when he just showed up.
What did he say?
Unwavering faith.
We gotta find out what did he say, man?
He said
unwavering faith, ultimate belief.
It was something else. It was a third thing too.
Unwavering faith, ultimate belief.
Something in the Lord. I think it's something in the Lord. I think it was like, man.
Wait. I could just find this very easily by searching Jameis Winston unwavering faith.
Dependence in the Lord.
Dependence in the Lord. There it is. Yeah. And then she was like, what does that mean? He was like, unwavering faith.
Oh man. Oh, this is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it.
Look, right after Kyle Hamilton drops a crazy interception, and you can't help but think, hey, was he on to something? Like,
amen.
That was the most unwavering faith game of all time. I'm like, yo, dog.
Dependence in the Lord.
Uh-huh. Look, Jameis Winston. What a character, man. One of one. He didn't live up to his draft hype, but you know what? He will be remembered. Hall of Fun. The Hall of Fun for sure. Like,
absolutely. First ballot Hall of Fun.
Oh, yeah. Him, Ryan Fitzpatrick, D-Jax, like Hall of Fun.
Man, I can't believe it. They got to keep, they legitimately have to keep Jameis around for the vibes next year. Like, they got to keep him. You can't let him go.
You can't have Jameis out there and replace him with like Case Keenum or something like that. Like
bridge quarterback.
The vibes ain't never gonna feel turned up.
Bridge quarterback for sure. Jameis Winston.
Oh yeah, Jameis Winston. He gonna hold us over for Cooper for Arch Manning. Is it?
He holding us over for somebody.
For Dylan, we gonna hold over for Dylan.
Dylan who?
Dylan Raiola.
Oh, okay.
I was saying.
I was like, which Dylan are you talking about? There's another Dylan in the draft this year. I was like, I don't want nothing to do with that.
No, absolutely not.
You don't do all this to get Cade Klubnik. Okay.
Hey, they might take Cade Klubnik though. Later on.
Third, fourth round. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. That's not the next guy. This is another dude that they drafted, right? But like when it comes to that first round, who knows who they take? But Jameis Winston, I don't know if he's the perfect mentor, but I sure want to see what that looks like. Like, out of pure curiosity.
100%.
You got a young guy there. He tried to teach this young guy everything. You know how impressionable the youth is. Like, yeah, you ever look up the old Jameis Winston controversies, the ones that aren't serious, right? Like he got arrested for hunting squirrels with a BB gun at college because they thought he had an AR-15 on him.
What?
Yeah, you ain't never heard that one?
I never heard that one.
The one where he stole juice from Burger King and they snitched on him. I saw that one. I remember people made a big deal about that one when it happened. I remember thinking, I do that shit all the time. What the fuck are anybody talking about? Like, I still do it all the time. Can I get a cup of water? I mean to get a cup of water, but shit, if you got something I like at that drink fountain, I'm gonna try it. Don't be one of them places that leave their lemonade. Right? They free meal drinks out there. Yeah, bro. I'm about to try that blueberry lemonade, whatever you got up there. Like, shout out to all my people who steal from the restaurants when they give you a water cup. You know, don't even try to hide it. You be with a clear ass water cup with a blue drink. Like,
we shot off theft. We shot off theft on the pod.
Yeah, man. That's our way to fight back as consumers to an unjust system. You know, what, a quarter a cent at a time. Like,
you know, I'm with it.
Say, Curtis, are you down with this agenda? Or you want to, oh my God, Curtis, tell on you when you get something in your water cup. Curtis, you be telling on folks?
No, that ain't it. That ain't it at all. If I saw someone do it, I'm like, oh, they want to try a new drink. I'm like, I'm going to let them be. And I just go on about my business.
I'm going to let them be. You always let them be, Curtis.
Wow, was you thinking about not letting them be? Why'd you have to make a decision? Why'd you have to make a decision there, Curtis? I never thought about turning somebody in. Like, wow.
You know if you over there signing papers, Curtis is public record, right? You know we can look that up.
Yeah, wow. Curtis got caught snitching.
I don't even snitch, man. Stop it. Don't do that.
He's like, yeah, man. I know what cherry Coke look like.
Curtis, that don't look like water to me.
See, now when they got to change out the box because you used all the syrup, you weren't even supposed to use it. Wow. So Curtis, you don't steal drinks from the fountain when you get a water cup?
I mean, I did it a couple times, but then I'm like, I got enough money now. Somebody will just, get my own drink. But I did it a couple times.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
If we go down, you going down too, Curtis.
The couch is busted. We got you, you son of a bitch.
Oh man.
I ain't gonna lie though. I always steal the lemonade if you leave it out because I'm like, why you got it out if you don't want me to steal it? Like if you really cared this much, you would put the effort in to do it yourself. Honestly, I feel that way about most of the time. We be asked to do somebody else's job while we be buying food. Like self-checkout, the line too long at self-checkout. I'm not sure everything hits the scanner.
No, I don't do that.
You don't do that? I ain't gonna lie. I don't do it as much anymore because I have a job and I can afford things. But yeah, one time I walked out that bitch with the vacuum cleaner. Like,
how?
Just never scanned it. Walked out.
They ask no questions?
They just let you walk out?
Yeah. It was at the Walmart out there, and I don't want to give up too much information.
Is Q a klepto?
I'm not a thief. I just took because they made me wait 10 minutes in line at the self-checkout, and I was just sitting there like, I'm leaving here with something, bro, because y'all out here not wanting to spend an extra person on the shift so you can open up all the self-checkout machines. You got me out here waiting in a fucking Walmart line this long. I'm leaving here with something. I'm about to forget to scan this vacuum cleaner. I went doop, 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 doop. Oh, didn't scan it. Pushed it through. Nobody noticed because they had nobody working, Cole. That's their fault. They wanted to save money on labor. Well, that's what it cost you. $40 vacuum.
You wouldn't even get a good vacuum. You took the $40 joke.
Because I was going to buy it at first.
Let me get the good.
Hey, I was going to buy it at first.
If you
I was going to buy it at first.
You got to go higher than that. Not $40 vacuum.
I can't go back and get it. I wasn't planning on stealing the vacuum cleaner. It's just once I went in to pay for it and they made me wait forever, I was like, you know what? Unacceptable. Well, I'm going to do yell at the manager. That's going to make me stay at the Walmart longer. But you know what I could get my restitution on? That $40 vacuum. I feel like that was a fair trade.
All right, man. All right. It's $40 vacuum.
$40 back.
Hey,
What
bro,
Walmart?
if you
What
don't want it
Walmart
to
was
happen,
this at? Was this a Walmart in Cleveland or was this a Walmart somewhere else?
I am not saying I did it at this Walmart, but if I did, it was at the South Euclid one.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah. Hey, look, man, if they want to hire enough people to be able to make sure that that doesn't happen and make sure that the flow of customers goes in and out smoothly, then this doesn't happen. But if they don't want to hire enough people, want to make me wait in these long ass lines, man, like people gonna start stealing if you make a wait for a line. People do this shit all the time in the suburbs too, by the way. Like,
yeah, they do. 100%.
I learned this shit from them, by the way. Like, this isn't something I learned growing up in Cleveland. This is something I learned in college. Okay. Like, I was at a Dick's Sporting Goods first time I saw that happen. He was like, yeah, I'm just going to walk through. They don't want to hire enough. I'm walking through. I'm like, what? He walked out. Like, I was like, oh, I guess that's a sufficient way to combat you not wanting to hire enough labor. See, it's pro labor at the end of the day, Cole. I don't know why you're mad at it.
I'll never have an issue being pro labor. Never have an issue with that.
That is a lesson that I learned from the upper middle class folks I went to school with. Okay, so
yeah, if you want to, just fun fact, if you want to look at who shoplifts the most, who gets caught and arrested for shoplifting the most, not who you would think.
Oh yeah.
At least not who they tell you it is.
Never what you think it is, right? Like it ain't never. It's just like, man, I wasn't trying to wait in line. And look, the only times as an adult I've ever thought to shoplift, it's not because I couldn't afford something. It's because I'm not trying to wait 20 minutes to check out. Like that's crazy. Like I got shit to do. Like I need to go, but I also need this thing I came here for. Saw facts. What you about to do? Like,
hey man, it is what it is.
I don't do it anymore. But
it's not like they're gonna stop. It's not like they're gonna stop you even if you was doing it still. Like they're not gonna stop you.
Like, I'm too old to be caught up and get arrested over some petty theft. Like I'm just too old for it now. But like in my teens, like nobody care if you get arrested in your teens for some petty theft. Like I'm not encouraging that anybody does this, by the way. Y'all have a great day.
Had to sneak that in at the end real quick.
Yeah. I'm not encouraging that anybody does this, by the way. We were talking about what you would do in a video game.
just in case the fans is watching.
Just in case somebody blame this shit on me, they get caught. I'm like, nah, I did not tell you to do this. Okay. Like, this is not legal advice. I'm just sharing a personal story that may or may not be true, depending on who's listening. But I want to thank everybody for coming in today, watching the show. Kobe, you got anything to say before we let people go?
Appreciate everybody checking out Q and Co. Make sure y'all like this. Make sure y'all follow us and subscribe to the channel. We got some more stuff coming this week. I was traveling, so we was a little busy. We was both a little busy last week, but we got something coming this week for y'all. And
by the way, those of you guys who are watching this for the first time, because it's accidentally live on my channel, go over to Q and Co and subscribe, because that's where this podcast is going to live. If you're looking for the replay, it's only going to be on the Q and Co channel. I'm going to delete the replay from the main channel is the second this ends. So if you want to go check the replay, you want to go watch this again, you want to go share this, go to the Q and Co channel, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like. Did we get to super chats? Oh my God. Wait.
We got super chats.
Oh, yeah, we got some. Yeah, we got a couple.
We got super chats, y'all. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Curtis.
I'm like,
Curtis
trying to steal the super chats.
oh, we got a couple. We got a couple. We got about 8. We can go through them. First one's from Semi Football. He says, I'm not convinced by the Steelers. They are the same exact team they have been the past 4 or 5 seasons still.
I mean, yeah, you know what that is. They go win 10 games. They go make the playoffs.
Nah, I think they're better. I think they're better this year.
You do?
Yeah, I think they're better. I think they're a better team. I think there's a chance they win a playoff game this year.
Are we sure? Are we really sure?
Who else is in the AFC? Like, it ain't anybody in the AFC can get beat this year. Like,
the only team I feel good about. Only team I feel good about in the AFC is the Chiefs because they're the Chiefs.
like if they get the if they get the 5 seed and they play what the AFC, well, who's going to be the worst division winner this year?
I don't know. Maybe
the AFC East.
Yeah,
probably.
I mean, they would still play Buffalo though. Probably.
Okay, there was this Buffalo, Baltimore, and then Houston. I think Houston's gettable by anybody.
Kansas City. I think Kansas City.
Kansas City, if it wasn't for Pat Mahomes, I'd be talking about how gettable they were. And then we just saw Baltimore is clearly gettable.
Mm-hmm. That defense is not good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think every team, but even Buffalo's gettable. So I wouldn't be surprised if they won a playoff game.
Yeah, I can see it.
Last year, I would have been shocked. Last year, I was like, that's clearly not a team that's good enough to win a playoff game. This year, nah, they could win one. They're a good team.
Yeah, all right. We got a second super chat from Alkaline. Jameis has a future as a mega church pastor after he retires. Did you hear him shout out Eminem by saying there's a white boy in Detroit special?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was a crazy way to throw the Eminem.
Listen, Jameis got a career doing something in front of a microphone after he's done playing football. Something.
Let me tell you, I'm so nervous about what that's going to look like, but I'm gonna just enjoy what it is now.
You know what I think it's gonna be? You watch the 520 You watch the 520 podcast, right? With Jeff Teague.
Yeah,
it's gonna be the football version of that.
Where he just telling stories.
He's just telling stories, and then he just have people on to tell stories. Yeah, I can see that 100%.
What I need him to do is like bounce around like 4 more teams before he retires, just so he can have like a nice rotation of like different people he's played with. But I don't know, Jameis. I don't know if Jameis gonna be like a Jeff Teague type dude. Like Jameis gonna talk about himself a lot. And a lot of what Jeff Teague be talking about is other people. There's also a level of humility in Jeff Teague that I don't think Jameis is gonna have. So I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think Jameis probably has a career kind of like Michael Irvin, where like
I can see that.
He's on sports debate shows every once in a while if he wants to, but he's really going to be one of them dudes at his alma mater, really getting happy when Florida State start winning.
I can see that.
Because he's also the last guy on the national championship team, right? He's the last guy to have won a national championship at Florida State, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's like kind of like a mascot in that way where it's like, oh yeah, Jameis here. That's the semblance of when we were great. Last time we were great. He's going to be out there. Or he's going to be a coach. Don't underestimate that.
I can see it.
He'd be a great college coach. A great college coach. Because he has good personality, good relationships with people within the league. He could get good offensive coordinators to work with them. It's going to be interesting the philosophy that he has, but yeah, he'd be a pretty good college coach if he's coaching somewhere that doesn't have high expectations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like he could be a great coach for what's a good school that doesn't have high expectations consistently, like South Carolina.
Okay, I'll see where you're going.
NC State, like one of those schools. It's like, yeah, they're always decent, but they ain't great. Jameis get a couple great seasons out of you. It'd be fun. I think that's definitely somewhere in the Sun Belt too. Definitely somewhere in the Sun Belt. We got another one.
Yeah, we got another one. Jameis definitely sat down and wrote the graduation speech with a feather pen and ink.
Yeah.
I bet he was nervous before he gave that speech too.
He was definitely like rehearsing it. He's like, hey, that sound good. That sound all right.
Like he was patting his head before he got on. We are here. Like, I bet he took that stuff so seriously. Like, and that's what makes Jameis Jameis. He is earnest to a fault.
All right, next super chat is from Ray Rags. It's overlooked that Michigan forfeited the game against Ohio State in 2020. If they played that game, it's likely he gets fired after his worst season. After his worst team in Michigan gets destroyed again in his 0-6. He's talking about khaki pants Harbaugh. Because I do remember that Michigan team during COVID, they were pretty bad. And all it took was him, I think, having his salary changed and basically a bunch of super seniors coming back to basically save whatever that legacy was.
Yeah, man. He loses to the Browns on Sunday. It's gonna be funny.
Mike Vrabel gonna be on the sideline that week trying to prove a point. Like, we know the job he actually wants. Like,
let me tell you, this ain't Ryan Day.
He gonna refuse to shake his hand. It ain't even like it's expected. Like,
yeah, you better get used to this.
We also got to talk about, like, why don't nobody like Jim Harbaugh that ever like interacts with them frequently? Like,
I don't know. He just gives off weird vibes. But he
did Jim punch him in the chest?
Didn't Jim Schwartz try to fight him?
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that.
Oh, so you telling me right now Jim Schwartz is in the lab right now? Like, he let it know. Greg, you will not get beat today. Okay. Don't you come here celebrating. You let that khaki pant mother. Like,
it means just a little bit more to me this week. That's all I'm saying.
He gonna be on that sideline. You know, when it be something to the coaches extra, like the coaches usually be standing up like this, but no, he gonna be on that boy like this whole game, locked in, calling plays, like still setting up like he about to play linebacker the whole game, like he just locked in. That's gonna be hilarious. That's gonna be hilarious. I bet he gonna be talking to Kevin the whole time because Kevin don't do nothing on the sideline no more during the games, at least. Like Kevin just sitting there like, okay, don't do that. Let's make sure Jameis doesn't throw an interception here. Like,
we got a super chat from Soul Train asking, will they trade a good pick to move Watson later? I have some bad news for people. Deshaun Watson's football career with the Browns and in the NFL is over with. There is no doubt that man will not be playing a single down in the NFL anymore.
Brother, you compare the number 1 overall pick with Deshaun Watson and nobody's taking it.
No. For what?
Like, no one wants him. His career is over with. And I see people, and I see that specific group of people on Twitter. We're not gonna name drop them, but we're not gonna name drop them or call them names. But they're saying, "Oh, wait till Deshaun comes back." I'm like, brother, he's done here.
There are people saying that.
Yeah,
there's a couple people saying that. Unfortunately,
okay, I have not seen that on my timeline. Anybody being like, "Wait," I guess I only like really interact with people I find to be sane. But yeah, I don't think that's the same thing to say as Deshaun Watson is like gonna come back and after tearing his Achilles, after looking cooked. He tore his Achilles after he looked cooked.
It's over. It's over.
Yeah, it's over, man. It's over with. It's more of a question about logistics and paperwork than it is about like that. And honestly, if he fades out as an injured player, that's better for the Browns because they get to spread that cap hit out as long as they want. So yeah, this thing's done. This thing is over with. It's a wrap, man. Like Deshaun is not playing quarterback. I'd be very surprised if Deshaun like ends up being somebody's starter. Like maybe he plays in a game because he sits around as a backup for a while, but as a starter for the Browns again, like the starter, I doubt we do that.
Mm-mm.
He's at least going to be in the competition.
Yeah, fair. And we got this last one from Iceman the Boss. This is for you, Q. Hey, Q, I know you peep the esports. I'm curious if you checked out the Rocket League esports. RLCS. I think it's best in most like traditional sports.
I might have misled people. They asked me if I would rather watch esports or anime, and I said esports. That doesn't mean I watch esports. Like, I'm just aware of esports existence. I know Rocket League's a big deal. I'm always y'all any good at Rocket League?
I've never played it.
I haven't played Rocket League since I was like my senior year of college, and then I just stopped playing it. I was decent.
I'm surprised it's still around.
There's one video game I plan on playing, and it comes out in 2 days. And that's
What's
it.
that?
Dragon Age.
Oh,
Is that one of the Bethesda games?
No, it's people who made Mass Effect. Why can't I think of them right now?
Oh. Well, it used to be EA. Well, what are they called now?
No, that's not. It's not.
It's not Bethesda. No. Bethesda's
No.
Fallout.
But that's a Fallout.
Yeah, it's. Don't tell us. Hold on. I want to remember. It is Nordic. No.
Nordic.
It's. I think I know it. BioWare. It's BioWare.
There it is.
They made The Witcher, right?
No, BioWare made. They did Mass Effect, Jade Empire, the Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars. But yeah, that's what they did.
You be playing RPGs, Cole?
Yeah, all the time.
Mm-hmm. See, I be telling my girl all the time, you lucky I don't play them games the girlfriends hate. Like them time consuming ones.
No, my girl plays the same games. My girl plays the same games.
Your girl is a gamer, so y'all good. Y'all can play together. I cannot be out here playing no RPG no more or first person shooter. I don't know how people play 2K as much as they play 2K.
I only play 2K like once a day. I can't finish Cyberpunk right now. I just can't. I got too much stuff I got to get done.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
getting old.
It was like 4 people in chat who was like, BioWare, it's BioWare.
All right, we good with super chats?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, see, I got enough time as a gamer to like pop on, play a couple games of Dynasty, pop out. And I spend the whole rest of the day feeling guilty that I spent that much time playing video games. That's what be.
No, I'm gonna play Dragon Age all day when it comes out. Like I'm not.
That's what I did with college football. When that shit came out, I cleared out 4 days. like
I already told my bosses exactly what it was. I was like, do not message me. Do not. No,
I played this game. I got to like 2032 on Dynasty in like those 4 days. And then since like those first 4 days the game has come out, I think I progressed like 2 seasons in my Dynasties. Yeah. So I gotta play them like every week I get like time for like a game or 2.
Nah, man.
Curtis, what you playing?
What you playing, Curtis?
Well, I'm playing that new Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I gotta get good at that.
Is it fire?
It's better than I thought it would. It's a little bit of adaptation period.
All right, well, we ran out of time here, y'all. Y'all have a great day. Y'all have a great day, man. Appreciate y'all for joining Q and Code. Again, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, especially if you're watching from the Q and Code channel. If you're first time watching and you're watching from the Quincy Carrier channel, make sure you jump over to the Q and Code channel and check that out. But y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.